All right, happy Saturday, everyone. It's Prophet Leah Connect, just taking you on a quick drive with me here in downtown Chicago. Oh my gosh, I love this view. I actually used to live right here. I'm actually not too far from here still, but nonetheless, I am just enjoying this trip. And I just wanted to talk to you about this conversation I was just having recently with a relative, and it was about homeostasis. And the fact that it's so important for us to recognize that we're all constantly working to achieve balance, whether that's balance in our health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, balance in our relationships, balance with our past traumas that we may have experienced, balance in our careers. We're all trying to achieve balance. So it's extremely important to not try to withdraw from others when they are trying to achieve balance themselves. And then at the same time, we never want to expect a person to give us something that God is supposed to give us. Now, I am definitely far away from this mindset, but there are some people that do struggle with this. They're trying to pull something out of a person who's not yet balanced, number one. And then the second thing is that what they need technically can never come from the person. All right. So some things can only come from God. And so God is just trying to give us a gentle reminder to ensure that we focus on our own balance. Again, if we're all trying to balance and there's someone that you feel like you deserve something from or need something from, and they're not giving it to you, instead of focusing on what they're not giving to you, focus on those two things: the fact that they are still trying to balance themselves, and that we all need to be focusing on our own state of balance. All right. And so I just hope that the focus of homeostasis, which is the scientific or health term for achieving a state of balance, and when we're not in homeostasis, that's when illness occurs. And that's not just physical illness. That's in anything. That's in our communication patterns. That's in how we treat other people. That's in how we see ourselves. This whole universe that God has so beautifully created is all balance, is all in homeostasis. And so I just want to, just gently come to you and say, that's something that we all just need to always be focused on and not be too hard on ourselves and other people. Look at this beautiful city. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I look at some of the things that are happening, some of the crime. And then I see every day I look out of my window and I see how God just still keeps us all in balance here in Chicago, and whether, it's Milwaukee or DC or wherever we all are, and just so I just want to just put that on our minds, that if you are not feeling balanced right now, that's okay. If you know the work that you've just had to do over all of these years to achieve a state of balance, congratulations. But let's be kinder to ourselves and to others. I was actually looking at a news story. Let me make sure I'm going in a correct way. I was looking at a news story this morning, and there was a lady that went into one of her buildings. I think it was a brownstone, and either her son or somebody just shot her. And the story wasn't clear on whether it was her stepson or whether it was a stranger. They just said somebody climbed up in her window and then just shot her in the head like 3 or 4 times. God bless her soul and God rest her soul. But I went through the comments to try to see, well, who was it? What was that all about? Hey, everybody. Hello. And what they said was it was somebody that had a mental illness. They were not in a state of balance. And so it's very dangerous to be in situations where you're around a person that's not in balance. Look at this beautiful scene right here, y'all. And if you don't accept the warnings of somebody that's not in balance, because Satan loves to operate when a person is out of balance in their mind. And as a matter of fact, I was actually watching an Oprah podcast recently. I actually had to unsubscribe. As much as I love Oprah, I had to unsubscribe because there was a person on there recently. I think his book is called The Seat of the Soul. And this is my personal opinion. So, no disrespect to anyone. But he started teaching this concept that the soul is like a ship that is distinct from the person. And when he said that, I immediately began to feel disconnected, like from my own soul. And this is what Satan likes to do. This is why I have to unsubscribe. Because I recognized that even though that person was probably innocent, they probably weren't aware of the fact that they were disassociating the human being that was listening to them from their own unique soul. And that's called a fragmentation. So this is how Satan works. He tries to fragment the human mind and cause one to disassociate with themselves, with their own soul, with their own body, with their own reality. This is why, people live in two different realities, so that Satan can manipulate them to be a vessel for him. So the second, it wasn't even a full second, when I heard that man start teaching that, and Oprah was like, wow, like she was like, almost like that was one of the best things that she had ever heard. And I was like, man, what a demonic concept to teach. This is why we have to be careful with these new age teachings. To teach a person that their soul is just a separate ship that's just on its way somewhere, and you are the human being behind. You're the human being behind the ship that's just following that main ship. The mothership was what he was saying, and then the other ones were smaller, but that was you. That is completely false. I come to bring balance, a homeostasis, that you are 100% in control of your soul, of your mind, of your body, of your spirit. I know we have a distinct soul and spirit. I believe so. I know that the Bible says that the spirit of a man, it speaks to the spirit of the man. So perhaps the spirit and the soul are one. I just know when I was dying, my entire being was leaving my body. So I was going somewhere. It just seemed to me that it was my spirit or my soul leaving the physical body. It just seemed like two levels. So I'm not separate from my soul, but I might be separate or distinct, of course, from my temporary body. So this is just some random thoughts that are going through my head about homeostasis in a hopefully well-packaged manner. I'm just going to finish enjoying this beautiful downtown Chicago scenery, and I hope that you've enjoyed it with me. God bless you. I will be joining you live for Prophetic Release on Sunday. Take care.